students, good morning everyone. Today we are going to see about organic carbon status and important strategies conserved utility system. Okay, so far we have completed 3 lectures and moving to 4th lecture today, organic carbon. Why we have to study this organic carbon? What is meant by soil organic carbon? How it is important and related to agriculture. Let's see this. Soil organic carbon is a major component of soil organic matter. Okay, whatever the content that present in the soil, that we are going to check with the component of soil organic carbon, as we cannot directly calculate the soil organic matter. Soil organic carbon acts as a component for soil organic matter. It is extremely important in all soil processes also. Organic material in the soil is essentially derived from, mostly organic carbon will be present in all the debris that will fallen on ground from the plants or animal decomposition material, humus and microbes. In all the forms, this carbon will be stored, and after storing this into the soil, that soil will comprise this all, and this will be changes into different forms, and again this will be uptaken by some amount of the carbon will be uptaken by the plants, and some amount of carbon will be deposited or evaporated into the atmosphere. It combines into the atmosphere. Likewise, this carbon cycle rotates in the atmosphere. Okay, now how it is important? Let's see that organic matter makes up to just 2 to 10% of most soil mass and has an important role in the physical, chemical and biological function of agriculture soils. Organic matter contributes to nutrient retention and turnover, soil structure, moisture retention and availability, degradation of pollutants, carbon sequestration and soil resilience. Okay, you can see here how soil carbon will be maintained and how it turns into the atmosphere and again deposited into the soil. Okay, how is soil organic carbon different to soil organic matter? As I said before, soil organic carbon refers only the carbon component of organic compounds, but soil organic matter is the productive of this soil organic carbon, because soil organic matter that we cannot calculate directly, so laboratories tend to measure and report soil organic carbon. With the help of SOC we can determine the SOM, soil organic matter. There are different compositions in the soil organic matter. Of them, particulate organic matter, dissolved organic matter, microbial biomass. Soil organic matter will be in different forms, as I said now. Dissolved organic matter, for turning into this, it takes about minutes to days. Okay, this soil organic matter will turn into dissolved organic matter within minutes to days, and it will be comprised in soluble root exudates, simple sugars and decomposition by products. It generally makes up less than 5% of total soil organic matter. Okay, how much it will take? 5% of total soil organic matter will be comprised by dissolved organic matter. Next, moving to particulate organic matter, it takes time of 2 to 50 years for turning to organic matter to particulate organic matter. Particulate organic matter will be in fresh or decomposing plant and animal matter with definable cell structure. Makes up it all. Particulate organic matter will makes up about 2 to 25% of soil organic matter. If you see dissolved organic matter, it comprises of only 5%. If going to particulate organic matter, it contains about 2 to 25% of total organic matter. Microbial biomass or humus, we can say, it takes time of about decade or hundreds of years to turn into microbial biomass. It will be consistent in older decayed organic compounds that have resisted decomposition, can make up more than 50% of total soil organic matter. Of all the above, microbial biomass contains of 50% of total soil organic matter. Okay, this is about soil organic matter, how in which fractions it has been obtained in the soil, how much time it will take to turn into different fractions of soil organic matter, and where these fractions has been available in the soil. Now moving to importance of soil organic carbon, how the soil organic carbon will help in agriculture or for the plants or for the soil. It helps in maintaining soil fertility by holding NPK and other nutrients for plant growth. It holds the nutrients of nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium and helps in the plant growth. It supplies the nutrients to the plants whenever the plants require. And also soil organic carbon helps to increase WHC. It means water holding capacity of the soil. It increases the water holding capacity of the soil so that it can hold the water for the more time and helps the plant to take the water and moisture whenever it requires. And also it provides gaseous exchange on the root growth. Soil organic carbon also helps in gaseous exchange under root growth. And next, food source for it also acts as food source for soil fauna and flora. Whatever the small types of lichens or different plants that present on the earth will act as soil food source for soil flora and fauna. These were the some important characteristics, and not only that, that how soil organic carbon will helps to different soil flora and fauna. Now moving to reasons for the reduction of soil organic carbon. Okay, there are different types of reasons how it has been reduced. Of them, if we see natural factors, it may be reduced due to floods, volcanoes, earthquakes, due to eruption and different types of natural disasters like floods, volcanoes, earthquakes. The soil organic carbon in the earth has been reduced day by day. Next, moving to, and not only with the natural disaster but also by human induced factors, the soil organic carbon has been reduced. Of them, overgrazing by cattle. We don't control the animals, but we leave the animals in open land, and animals have been gone through all the lands and they used to eat all the plants that present on the earth. Most of the carbon that present on the earth will be in the form will be stored in grasslands and small grasslands or different plants that present on the earth's surface. But if the animals have been overgrazed, the complete land will be barren, and it will be losing the green pastures, and soil organic carbon has been reduced day by day. And next, urban expansion. As we are land is degraded day by day and urbanization has been increasing, we are in lack of planting the trees, and these all consequences has been led to reduction of carbon content in the soil. Next, moving to improper management of industrial waste. We are not maintaining any of the industrial waste in a proper manner, but we are throwing all the waste in lakes or surroundings, and we are leaving the gas emissions in the atmosphere, so that it will not be managed in a proper way and reduce the soil organic carbon. Land degradation due to inappropriate agriculture practices. Due to tillage practice or inappropriate crop production practices also has been led to reduction of carbon. Next, moving to excessive tillage. Due to, we'll think that if we do excessive tillage or more tillage, then we'll get the crop growth in a proper manner, but not, because if we till the land more than enough, then it will be lack of the topsoil, and the topsoil will get eroded as usual. With along with that, carbon content also present in that will be decreased. Frequent cropping, poor irrigation and water management, unscientific rotation of crops. These all the factors that been um, helped for the uh, reduction of soil carbon in the atmosphere. So that we have to reduce all the factors which has mentioned here to get proper soil organic carbon, to increase the soil organic matter in the soil. Okay. Yes, as I said, there were many factors, so that we have to follow some strategies to improve the soil organic carbon. Of them, grow perennial pastures. As I said before, the most amount of carbon will be present in grasslands only, so that we have to grow perennial pastures. A period under perennial grass dominant pasture is an effective way of increasing organic matter in farm soils. Not only that, grow cereal crops, grow green manure crops, spread manures. Spreading manure will be helpful in increasing the soil organic matter and helps to increase in soil organic carbon. Use organic fertilizers. Reduce the chemical fertilizers and use only organic fertilizers, biopesticide, biofertilizers, whichever present nearby, and so that we can maintain the soil organic carbon by increasing the organic fertility. Keep cultivation to a minimum. Concentrate organic matter. Yes, the total output will be on soil organic matter. We have to save that by planting many trees, by following proper crop production practices. Next, moving to conservation tillage system. The conservation tillage system. Okay, up to here we have seen about soil organic carbon and soil organic matter, how we have to save that, what were the strategies to improve the soil organic carbon. Now moving to conservation tillage system. As its name implies that conservation, we are going to conserve, it means saving the land by conservation tillage, which conserves soil by reducing erosion. Okay, the main concept of this is the erosion will be controlled by this conservative tillage. If you are not going to follow this conservative tillage, if we follow the conventional tillage or conventional practices, definitely the soil is going to be eroded up to its extent, then we cannot do anything, because the topmost soil will contain more fertility content. If we make the tilt more than enough, definitely there will be a soil erosion and there will be no proper growth in the plants, whatever the measures we have taken after completion of all the process. So that we have to follow the conservation tillage system. In the Midwest, erosion by water is the primary concern, whereas western regions of the country are more susceptible to wind erosion. Okay, so that we have to, as I said, that soil erosion will be in the form of tillage. Not only in that, but by the different types of erosions, soil erosion, wind erosion, like this, from the topsoil will be going to be eroded from the certain place and going to be sedimented in the settled down in the streams, rivers or lakes. Sediment collects thin surface waters, reducing their water holding capacity. Some crop nutrients and pesticides attach to soil particles and are carried and deposited in waterways along with the soil. Okay. After that, factors affecting the soil loss by water erosion include, some factors that include are rainfall patterns, erodibility of soil, slope length and height, soil cover, cropping patterns and management. each and every factor of this following will be affect the soil loss due to water erosion. Okay, if rainfall has been the raindrop has more amount of diameter than the force which has having it further will split on the it forcefully touch the ground, and the soil which present on that surface will be exploded and it will be settled down on the other place. Likewise, it will get be the soil has been get eroded to other places and settled down in the lakes and rivers, and so that the topsoil will be get eroded and there will be no fertility content in that soil to grow crops. Next, conservation tillage practices are grouped into three types. What were they? No-till, ridge-till, mulch-till. Let's see what is meant by no-till. No-till leaves the soil undistributed from harvest to planting. Planting is done in a narrow seed bed, where we are going to follow the seed bed in a narrow seed bed of usually 6 inches or less, or slot created by coulters. Please note these points. Some points I haven't mentioned here, so please note it down. Planting is done in a narrow seeded of about 6 inches or less, or slot created by coulters or row cleaners, disc openers, in-row chisels or rototillers. Okay, here the land is not going to be, the soil is not going to be disturbed until harvesting. From the planting to harvesting, the soil is not going to be undisturbed. Okay, that is nothing but no-tillage. In no-tillage, planting can be done successfully in chemically killed soil, in crop residues from the previous year, or when double cropping after a small grain, herbicides. Okay, and herbicides are the primary method of weed control. Although cultivation may be used for emergency weed control, sometimes we can also use in the emergency weed control. Soil conservation results from the high percentage of surface covered by crop residues. How we are going to conserve this? Soil conservation results from the high percentage of surface covered by crop residues. We are going to cover with crop residues. Next, moving to ridge till. In ridge till, it involves planting into a seedbed prepared on ridges with the help of sweeps, disc openers or row cleaners. By using these three, we are going to plant the seed, forming the seed bed on ridges with sweeps, disc openers, coulters or row cleaners. Okay, the ridges are rebuilt during cultivations. Okay, during the process of cultivation, the ridges are going to be rebuilt. Except for nutrition injection, the soil is left undisturbed from harvesting to planting. If you are going to inject the nutrient, that soil is going to be left undisturbed from harvest to planting. Ridge till works best on nearly level, poorly drained soils. Where ridge till is going to be work well? In poor drained soils. Okay, the ridges speed up drainage and soil warm up. Okay, it speed up the drainage and soil gets warm up. Cultivation controls weeds along with some herbicides. Okay, in ridge tillage we are going to easily control the weeds. If in serious cases, we can use some herbicides also. Ridge till system leave residues on the surface between ridges. Okay, you are going to leave the residues between the ridges. You are going to conserve that. Soil depends on the amount of residue and row direction. It depends upon the row direction and the amount of residue that we have given there. We are going to conserve the soil. Planting on the contour and increased surface coverage greatly reduce soil loss. Okay, if you are going to plant it on a contour and increase surface coverage, we are going to cover all the surface of the land, then it greatly reduce the soil loss. Because all the soil is going to be covered with different pastures or different grasses, then the soil loss definitely going to be reduced. This is about ridge tillage. And next one is about mulch. You are going to cover the soil with mulches. Okay, mulch till uses chisel plow, field cultivators, and disc sweeps or blades to till the soil before planting. Okay, before planting we are going to use chisel plows, field cultivators. After that, the tillage does not invert the soil but leaves it rough and cloddy. Okay, here in this tillage we are not going to up down the soil, but we are going to leave the soil like that for like that until then, but the soil remains rough and cloddy. Okay, various chisel points or sweeps attached to the shanks affect the amount of residue cover left on the soil surface. Okay, by using various chisel points or sweeps attached to the shanks, it will affect the amount of residue that cover on the surface of the soil which we have left on the soil. Okay, fall chiseling should be done to a depth of 8 to 10 inches. How many inches we are going to do the fall chiseling? 8 to 10 inches. And spring chiseling should be no deeper than 6 inches. Fall chiseling is done up to 8 to 10 inches and spring chiseling is done up to 6 inches. Disking or other shallow tillage operation also can be used in seed bed preparation. We are going to use disking or shallow tillage operation in seed bed preparation. A standard or disc does not till as deep and leaves more residue on the surface compared to heavy disc. Okay, we are going to leave huge amount of residues on the soil. Herbicides and cultivation control weeds in a mulch till system. Okay, we are going to use herbicide, not cultivation control. It means by hand weeding or some other practices we are going to control these weeds in this mulch till system. The effectiveness of mulch till system in reducing erosion depends on surface roughness and amount of residue and tillage direction. How it going to be effect in mulch till system in reducing erosion depends on surface roughness, okay, and amount of residues that we have given to the soil and tillage direction. This is about mulch till. Moving to before we have to know that whether this conservation tillage will be suitable to our farmlands or not. For that, before adopting a conservation tillage system, first we have to seek advice from the following nearby farmers who are successfully practicing conservation tillage. Yes or no? Because we have to take the suggestions which farmers have been already followed this conservation tillage system, whether it has been useful or not, how it has been helpful or beneficial to their farms, and how it was going to be beneficial for your farmers, in which by which way if you are going to do that conservation tillage system. Next, seed, chemical and other agribusiness dealers with experience in serving the needs of conservation tillage. As these specialization members will be having some knowledge about this adaptation of this conservation tillage system, farmers should consult them with a proper data of your farm. Okay, next, representatives from your local soil and water conservation district, natural resources conservation service, formerly the soil conservation service or cooperative extension service. If you are having any doubt or if you are having any difficulty to start this conservation tillage system, then you can meet the proper persons which are mentioned here, so that you will get an idea how to follow this system. Actually, this conservation tillage system, as defined by the Conservation Tillage Information Center (CTIC), excludes conventional tillage operation that invert the soil and bury crop residues. Okay, we have seen till now what were the different types of conservation tillage system. What were they? No till, ridge till and mulch till. But CTIC also given some tillage systems. No till is that can be called as slot planting, and mulch tillage, as I said before. Strip or zonal tillage like ridge and ridge till including non-till on ridges, and reduced or minimum tillage. Okay, CTIC have given these tillage methods. Next, moving to benefits of conservative tillage system. What was the benefits? Around the world, herbicide tolerant biotic crops are enabling farmers to use environmentally sound herbicides instead of tillage for weed control. We'll think that we are going to move out the or take out the all the weed seeds that present in the soil before raising the crop. But we are in that process we are going to lose the topmost soil that present on the land, which contains more amount of fertility content. So that nowadays many were using herbicide tolerant biotic crops. Okay, this was the first intention. And next one, growing crops with minimal soil disturbance reduce the soil erosion. In conservation tillage, what we are going to do that is we are going to reduce the soil disturbance. We are not going to disturb any of the soil until harvest. Okay, so that it reduces the soil erosion, increases carbon sequestration, and keeps more moisture in the soil. If you are not going to expose the soil up and down, then definitely there will be a moisture in the soil, so that it will help in keeping the moisture in the soil. This switch to conservation agriculture practices. This conservation tillage system will change that or switch the practices from conventional to conservation organic practices. We can say that conservation practices also reduces soil erosion, increases carbon sequestration, and keeps more moisture in the soil for growing crop. Okay, so that it will maintain the good amount of moisture and helps the plant to grow in certain manner. Whenever it needs the moisture, then it will be provided without loss. Okay, this was about whole organic carbon and how it will be useful for organic agriculture, and how it was going to be increase the organic content, organic matter. Okay, this was and conservation tillage that I said. I hope you have understood this lecture, and if you are having any queries, you can ask in the comment section. Thank you, students. I am going to put some questions from today's topic. Do answer in the comment section, students. First question, define SOC and SOM. Define SOC and SOM. Second question, into how many fractions SOM has been divided? Into how many fractions SOM has been divided? And what were they? Third question, time required to turn into particulate organic matter. Time required to turn into particulate organic matter. Next question, what is conservation tillage and mention its types? What is conservation tillage and mention its types? Next question, mention some important strategies to overcome or to increase soil organic matter. Mention some strategies to increase the soil organic matter in the soil. Thank you.